a failed nation state. It's neutral morally.
Like America.
You're missing the point about highest goods for society. You're arguing that.
I'm not engaging in that yet.
Wait, hold on.
Well, that's big. Go ahead.
Oh no, just if you guys can try to, just try to let each other finish your thoughts. But go ahead.
So this debate necessarily comes down to metaphysical claims and epistemical claims and ethical claims.
No.
Yes, it does.
Because
feminism is about morals, ethics, biology, society, social relations. You can't divorce ethics from that. Now, if you
Guys, the debate literally was, is feminism good for society? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that was literally the argument of the debate.
think you can, I'm happy to address that, but that's just going to get you in an even deeper bind.
I'm not saying that you can't, that you can divorce these things. Of course, feminism
You just argued a minute ago that it's not moral.
GDP is not moral.
Then you can't divorce these things. So you just contradicted yourself.
So there are lots of elements. Okay. There are lots of elements within feminism that do make moral claims, right? Lots of them. When I'm talking about something like an innovator scale, it's not a moral claim. It's real politics.
I understand you think that, but I'm pointing out that it is still moral. That's the argument I'm making.
For sure, Clontarf, and that's why I started off this review by tipping the hat and giving respect and saying I'm not here to just viciously mock and make fun, because anytime anybody debates Jay Dyer, it's because either they are totally ignorant and they've never seen a Dyer debate and they don't know what they're walking into, or because, they got courage. So good honor for that.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. That's 2 drinks in about 10 seconds, guys.
Do you want to engage with the actual conversation now?
This is the actual conversation. This is whether or not it's good and we ought follow your position. That's literally the conversation.
You saying that doesn't avoid the argument I'm making.
Okay.
I know that's what you're trying to do.
Why is GDP not good for society, or is it?
I'm saying it depends on your standard of good, and that's what I'm asking you.
What's your standard of good? And
I think GDP can be great for a society, but it's not the highest good of society,
Sure,
such as the social cohesion of society. That's more important than who's making fiat money.
Okay, what do you think is the role of the nation state?
The nation state has the job and the duty to defend its people and to maintain a healthy society, to punish the wicked, and to reward virtue.
Sure, yeah, I would broadly agree. It's to keep its citizens safe, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, how does it do that at a foreign policy level?
But I said reward virtue and punish vice. So there's also necessarily an ethical component there.
Sure, that's your claim.
Right, that's my worldview.
Yeah, I'm just engaging with it.
Right.
Okay, so then how does your nation state in your worldview protect itself from enemies?
It has a standing army.
Okay, and how does it fund that standing army?
Well, nations have gone into debt, or they have been prosperous and used their own treasuries, or they have raised money to go to war. So there's a lot of different ways that could happen.
Okay, and so what do you think is the right way to do that?
It's an oversimplification question, because not everything in regard to warfare or history of civilizations is necessarily right or wrong. It's a question of what might be the best or the worst. So there can be scales. It's not
Would you
all
say
either
that
or.
there are some things that aren't moral necessarily? Some of them are just pragmatic, and then there's some things that are moral?
Everything could potentially be moral, but some things are pragmatic, sure.
Okay, that's basically what I've been saying.
Yeah,
So
but you were appealing to the good of a nation state.
You were, again, because you were using the word good in a way that I wasn't meaning it. And even though I clarified multiple times that I meant functional, and I even said, what word would you like me to use to describe
So if something works, it's good? If something's functional, it's good? Because I'm not so sure about that.
I understand that you think that saying that because it's functional, it removes the ethical domain, but it doesn't, is the point I'm trying to make. Because the question that we're debating is whether feminism is good for society or not. That's an ethical, moral claim.
Okay, so going back to the chatter thing, how we have to agree about words, okay? You're now essentially assigning to me what good means, and it's obvious that I'm not agreeing.
No, I'm doing an internal critique is what I'm doing. You know what that is?
You're assigning to me.
Do you know what an internal critique is?
Tell me.
So I'm criticizing your position on its own grounds. That's an internal critique. That's what happens in debates.
Okay, what word would you like me to use when I am describing this non-moral functional element that is
the one that makes a non-moral position makes sense of why feminism is a good for society?
We can get there, but again, we have to.
You're not going to get there.
Well, we can, but you're not,
Not
even,
getting
we're
even
not
close
like,
to getting
We're
there.
doing
Because-
chatter. We're literally
No,
we're doing
we're
the thing I
at the
asked
point
not to do.
where you don't understand the issue. That's the
That's
point.
not true. All you've done at this point is just like you're just weaponizing
No, you
Yes.
admitted that the debate is about whether feminism is
You're
good for
weaponizing my argument against me. You're making my position work against me. Stop, Jay.
society. That's a moral, ethical domain right there.
Sure, there are some moral elements.
So when you make
and
arguments
some
about
functional
GDP,
arguments.
if it's not moral, then it's not relevant to the debate.
It's absolutely moral. What language would
It's
you like
moral?
to use? I said it's not. There is moral elements and there are some non-moral elements. GDP
Is the debate today about something moral?
I don't know if I agreed to saying we're only going to talk about epistemics and morality. Good is, again, this word that we're basically doing chatter around, where you're assigning a label to it, and I haven't agreed to
I'm
it. We can
trying to
just-
figure out your position on the good.
my
Yeah,
position
it's
on
chatter.
it-
It's not chatter if we can both just make claims and throw them at each other and try to see whoever has the best rhetoric wins. Whoever can dangle the shiniest object in front of the audience wins. That's a debate. Not getting down to the fundamentals of the epistemology of the good, the false, the true, the false, right? No, that's chatter.
Good, because it's holistic. There are things that are good because it's functional, and there are things that it's good because it's moral.
So basically, you don't have a definition for good.
Is the debate today, feminism, about the good of the moral for society?
It's about, I guess, I would like to
Yes.
make the case for both.
The answer, okay. So
Functional
then
and
that
moral.
means that everything you've been saying for the last hour is wrong.
No, because I'm making a case for the functional element too.
But the fact that you're making the case for the functional element too doesn't matter if you're also talking about the moral.
You can make both arguments, and I would
Correct.
like to engage
Yes.
in the first
Yeah.
one.
I would like to engage in the one that's not getting BTFO'd right now. Okay, can we just skip over the part of my argument that doesn't make any sense and that you could tear apart?
Right, because the other one is the one I'm looking at, and that's the problem for you.
It's not the problem for me. The
Yes.
problem with this conversation is that essentially what you've done is you've assigned me a bunch of positions that I don't have.
No.
You've done a bunch of circle
What?
talk about words. You've done a couple of rhetorical flashbangs. And now we're stuck in the situation where we can't actually talk about the idea.
Rhetorical flashbang. He's got his rhetorical SWAT suit on, and he's got his rhetorical frag grenades getting tossed in there. She's getting rhetorically annihilated.
Ideas, which is unfortunate because I was
Because
really
you've
looking
spawned
forward.
into you're chasing, like one foot is nailed, and then the other one is going in a circle. You're like
if
a
you want-
cartoon
again,
character running in a circle.
If you want to throw Agrippa's trilemma at me, you can, but I can throw it at you too. And if we do that, then there's no
Do it.
point. We're at an impasse.
Do it. Do it.